Hello and welcome to The Reluctant Investor, and to today's video, in which I'm going to be talking a little bit about whether investing may or may not be right for you, at least at this moment in time. Now, you might be thinking, well, this is a YouTube channel all about personal finance and investing, so naturally I'm going to be telling you that you have to scrimp and save every possible penny that you can and put it straight into some passive investment, whether it's an ETF or a mutual fund or something along those lines. But I can assure you that that's not the case. Hopefully this channel won't be like some channels that are a little bit like that. And I'm firmly of the belief that investing isn't actually necessarily right for everyone, at least depending upon their circumstances. Now, later down the line, that may change. So even if you come to the end of this video and you conclude that investing probably isn't right for me at this stage of my life, hopefully there's still enough on this channel in terms of other aspects of personal finance, whether it's mortgages, but buying a house, savings accounts, all that type of thing. Hopefully there's enough to still keep you engaged and subscribed, and obviously down the line your circumstances may change and then the investing side of the channel may be of more relevance to you. So if you enjoy this video, please do hit the like button, and if you want to stay up to date with the channel and see future videos, obviously make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell icon, which just ensures that you get notifications every time we upload. The plan is still to upload one video a week, although there was a slight exception last week when I made two. So whilst investing, and particularly compound interest, are key tools in terms of wealth building and breaking the cycle of needing to be in permanent employment in order to just meet your expenses, and that can be investing in a whole range of things, doesn't necessarily have to be stocks and shares or anything. It can be any kind of investment that ensures that you make some money whilst you're not working. Whilst that is obviously true, it isn't necessarily the case that right now everyone should be investing, because everyone's circumstances are different. And I think I boiled it down to sort of three overarching topics or questions, which you can go through sort of with a tick box. And if you come to the end and you've ticked all three, then you might say, okay, well, investing probably is the most suitable route or avenue for you to take. So the first of the three is just a question of financial security. That is to say, have you got enough money to meet your day-to-day expenses, as well as meet your expenses if in a sort of reasonable worst-case scenario. So, can you pay your mortgage if you have one, or your rent if you're currently renting a property? Can you pay your bills? All that type of thing. Car payments, petrol if you have to go to work and back, anything along those lines. Obviously, those are the fundamentals. I don't think I really need to state that, but just to give you an idea. Also, probably to the extent of, if you had a job loss, could you weather that storm? What is often referred to in sort of these financial circles as an emergency fund, which people often say 3 to 6 months of expenses, depending upon your sort of your risk tolerance and how comfortable you like to be. So that's the first thing. Obviously, if you don't have enough money to meet your basic expenses, then you're probably not going to be watching this video in the first place. But investing is obviously not going to be possible, and if you don't have at least a bit of an emergency fund pre-existing, so that you can, if the proverbial brown stuff were to hit the fan, you could get by, then investing's probably not right for you, at least right now, as I say. Okay, so if you take that question and you say, yes, I can meet my expenses, I've got enough money to maybe, if I did lose my job, to give me a little bit of time to find something new and get by, then you would come on to question number 2, which is just a matter of your personal goals, both long and short term. So are you looking to say save up to buy a house, or to buy a car, or maybe just a dream holiday or something along those lines? Now they would all be put in the category, I would say, of short term, or at least short to medium term goals, unless you're saying for a dream house 20 years down the line, in which case that's different. But any goals that are under, normally people will say about 5 years, investing's probably not best for you, just because 5 years is relatively short term, and over that amount of time, volatility means that your investment in terms of in most investment avenues, you're likely to open yourself up to a bit of risk, and your investment could even be worth less than it was at the start. And if you're saving for a down payment on a home, you can't really weather that storm if it happened 3 years into your 4-year time horizon to save up to buy a house. So hopefully that's easy enough to understand then, that if you're saving up for a short-term goal, then you need to be really intentional, and you need to really hone in just on that one aspect, and you're probably not going to have much time or the resources to put your money to work elsewhere, because you need to put all of your eggs into a car or a house or both, multiple baskets on that front. Then you might say, do you know what, investing, I just can't do it right now. I'll realize my short-term goals, and then I'll come back to the drawing board and see where I'm at. However, if you are watching this and thinking, well, either I've got enough money to meet my short-term goals, maybe you want to go on holiday and you've got £1,000 that is earmarked for a holiday, and you've still got some money coming in, and you think, I want to put that money to work, or you just don't have any short-term goals, then you can move on to sort of question or point number 3, which for me is just one of risk tolerance. Some people will say if you can meet those first two, then yes, go ahead and invest whatever else you have straight into the S&P 500 or something, which is just an index for the 500 largest companies in the United States of America. I don't think that's necessarily right, because everyone is different. Everyone has different risk tolerances and different temperaments. Some people just don't have the temperament to be invested 100% in stocks, because say if you did own the S&P 500 in your lifetime, so you live to be a sort of average age, your savings, if your savings are in that, are likely to halve 3 times during your lifetime, which some people just can't handle that type of drop. Now, obviously, that should be countered with the fact that it will have multiplied more times than it is halved, and it will have increased greatly over your lifetime, much more so than if you'd left it in some kind of savings account, unless you had phenomenal interest rates. I mean, on average, the S&P, once you flatten all the bumps and peaks and troughs out, probably makes normally about 8 or 9% a year over a really long period of time. Sometimes there'll be fees involved, might bring it down to 7 or 8%, but you get the general gist of things. But some people just can't handle those really bad moments, whether it's the 2008 financial crash, or even recently when COVID first hit and there was a big, sudden sharp fall. Some people don't have the temperament to deal with that, and that's fine. That's okay. There are alternatives. That might not mean, you can't invest. It might just mean you have to invest slightly differently. You might have a slightly differently weighted portfolio, so you might want more bonds. You might want to invest only in specific ETFs or mutual funds that focus perhaps on blue chip companies, which just mean very large companies where there tends to be less volatility. So yeah, I will talk more in a future video about sort of portfolio management and how you might want to arrange that type of thing. But I like to think if you get to that stage where you do have the money, there is likely to be an investment strategy that everyone's comfortable with, so long as they understand it. So again, as we talked about in the recent video about the whole GameStop situation, some of the takeaways from that, if you don't understand why you've invested in something or where it is invested, then you're likely to be more confused or more panicked by quick switches in perhaps the value of your investment, and that's when you're more prone to make what you'll look back on as a bad decision. So and then there are other aspects that maybe people just might prefer to investments. So most people have a pension, which is a form of investment. Your pension is invested. Again, that tends to be quite a low risk, low return investment, but in many cases, it would be good if people could just look at their investments as they would look at their pension. You know, how often do most people, particularly say in their 20s or 30s, how often do they look at their pension? Some of you might be watching the every day. Most people tend to leave it. You know, they can't access it for however many years until they're 55 or soon to be 57 in the UK at least. So most people are just, you know, leave it to its own device, and that's why it tends to, you know, increase. Most people don't, you know, claim their pension as soon as there's some kind of bump in the road. But again, if you have a pension scheme with your company where they will match your contribution, then it's always best to go as high as they'll match it. Again, if you have a terrible temperament and you think that, you know, you don't want to even be able to touch your money until you reach that age, well, then you might want to voluntarily make a greater contribution that isn't even matched. Or maybe you want to set up an SIPP, which is a self-invested personal pension, which obviously it works like a traditional pension, but you don't get any help from your employer. That might be better for you if you're in that situation where you want to be kept away from it. And I'll talk more about those and different ways, saving accounts and different ISAs. Again, like I say, if you're saving for a house, you might want again, this is UK specific, but you might want a lifetime ISA. There are equivalents in other countries. That type of thing I'll come to in the future, but this video is really just to give you an idea of whether investing per se, in terms of stocks and shares and ETFs and all the rest of it, whether that's right for you right now. Again, ignore my advice at your will. It's not financial advice, it's just some basic information that I think, that I would follow at least. So, like I say, if you come to the end of this video and you think, well, clearly I can't invest, I'm trying to save for a house, or clearly I can't invest, I would run a mile if my investment dropped by even 10%. Well, fair enough, there still should be plenty on this channel for you to get your teeth into, and maybe as you watch the channel and as you learn a little bit more, some of your hesitancies and apprehensions that just come from a point of not fully understanding why you'll get these drops and these peaks. Maybe as they subside, you might feel a little bit more confident. But hey, we'll see. As I say, give us a like if you did enjoy today's video. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notifications when we upload videos. And feel free to leave a comment as well, constructive or otherwise. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you as ever for watching.